जय श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare,
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
Hare Krishna
जय श्री हरिनाम।
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Rama
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरि बोल। कृष्ण
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण जय श्री हरिनाम।
Hare Rama 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 Hare
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण जय श्री हरिनाम।
Hare Rama
Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Rama Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan Yajna ki jai. So Sanjay Prabhu, you are the birthday boy today. Very happy that you have welcomed us, Priyanka Matji. And I didn't realize that we've had these programs on his birthday. You know, sometimes we go to so many programs, we figure it's either an anniversary, a birthday, or some auspicious occasion. But it's very important that you're using the time, not just with your family, but you're bringing everyone together to hear about Krishna. And that's something very wonderful. Not everyone does that actually. Prahlad Maharaj in Srimad Bhagavatam said that every living entity lives for a maximum of 100 years in Kali Yuga. And in Kali Yuga, the living entities have a tendency to sleep. So Prahlad Maharaj says 50 years of our life goes in living awake, and the other 50 years we are sleeping. So therefore actually only 50 years of our human life is left. Out of that 50 years of waking human life, 10 years goes in growing up. Another 10 years goes in our teenage time. And then maybe another next 20 years goes in working very hard to earn a living and to sustain ourselves. And the last 10 years, we are just struggling with our old age. So if you minus the 50 years that has gone into sleep and rest and everything, we only have 50 good years of our time to actually try to understand what the purpose of life is and how we want to use it. So that's a sobering thought on a birthday. But then the sastras, the nature of sastras is not to delude us, you see. The beauty of sastras, why many of us took up devotional service, is because we realize that sastras are not here to fool us. Sastras are here to tell us the truth. And that's why Krishna is known as the supreme absolute truth. It is very difficult for us to face truth, but it is easy for us to couch it. So sastras, Prahlad Maharaj warns us that the value of human life is going very quickly. And so when we come together to remember Krishna, to understand why we're here, then we must make good use of that time. The other thing that Prahlad Maharaj tells us is that human life is also meant for God realization, it is meant for self-realization, and it is meant for purification. Purification means that whatever habits that we had which cannot actually help us in our consciousness, those habits we give up. That's why when you take up God consciousness in any part of the world, you find that there will always be some austerity involved. Some tapas must be there. If you want to get something higher, you must give up something lower. If you continue to be in the lower modes, you will never be able to rise above these modes. For example, most of the time when we take up devotional service, meat eating, fish, eggs, gambling, drinking, pure relationships, all this becomes very important. Because we may think that it's not very important, only the heart is important. But we don't realize that our habits actually influence our consciousness. They influence our consciousness. And therefore, it's one thing to speak about God. It's another thing to prepare yourself to become an instrument for God. So there's a difference between philosophical speeches. Everyone can speak philosophy. Someone with a reasonable IQ who's been around long enough, most of us will be able to speak some philosophy. But whether the philosophy is grounded in actual Shastra is a different story. That's a different story. So I chose a verse today. I didn't realize it's the birthday, so it's going to be your birthday verse. And let's see what Krishna gives you and why he gives this verse to you. This verse is a very important verse from Bhagavad Gita. This is a very small, nice pocket edition of the Gita. And the verse is found in chapter 11, text 33. I'll just read to you the verse and you hear the translation, and then we see what the verse is trying to tell us. In the verse, Krishna says very nicely, no, actually it's Arjuna. Krishna is speaking now. This is chapter 11. So you all must know that in chapter 11, Arjuna was seeing the universal form of Krishna, right? The Vishwarupa, the Virat Rupa. And it was so big, it was consuming everything around him. Arjuna saw that his beloved Krishna had turned into such a fearsome form. But he also saw within that form all of the universe. He saw within that form all the Kauravas being devoured by Krishna. He saw within that form himself standing with Krishna in the battlefield. So he became very, very bewildered. What is happening here? And so in that moment, right, he starts praying and chanting beautiful verses to Krishna. And at the end of all that, Krishna then tells him something very important. And this is the verse that he speaks. Tasmat tvam utishta yasho labhasya jitva shatrun bhutsva rajyam samriddham mayaya vaite nihata purva evam nimitramata bhavya savya sachi. So it's a very important verse. Some of us will know the verse. The translation is very important. Krishna says, therefore get up. He tells Arjuna, get up. Prepare to fight and win glory. Conquer your enemies and enjoy a flourishing kingdom. So it is not that when we take up devotional service, we cannot enjoy. Some people get scared. If you start wearing dhoti and kurta, we won't have a normal life. But I can assure you, many of us are quite normal creatures. We live in Singapore. We work. We are all well gainfully employed. No one is unemployed. Sometimes I go for programs and I wear dhoti kurta. And then at the end, the host will tell me, Swamiji, it must have been very difficult for you taking a bus here. Can I book a cab for you? Then I tell them, it's okay, my car's parked downstairs. They almost faint. You mean, Swamiji, you drive? I say, yeah. It's your car. I said, yes. Oh, really? Oh, okay, fine. So people have this thinking, that because we have taken up devotional service seriously, we are all failures in life. Or we have taken devotional service because we are failures in life. But Arjuna was a very, very successful warrior. But he was also a very powerful devotee. He was a first-class devotee. So there was nothing lacking in his material life. So Krishna told Arjuna to fight and win the war. Krishna also told Arjuna, you should enjoy it. But then he tells Arjuna a very important thing. You think you are the warrior and you will kill whom you are supposed to kill on the battlefield. But I have news for you. Mayayamaite nihata purva eva nimitta matra bhavya savya sachi. Mayayamaite, by my divine arrangement, whoever who is supposed to perish on the battlefield, they have perished. They may be there, but by my arrangement, they are gone. Therefore, actually, Arjuna was being told by Krishna that no matter how powerful we may seem, no matter how proud we are of our achievements and who we are, ultimately, his arrangement will reign supreme. That is a very important point. His arrangement reigns supreme. And so then he says, you become something to me. So if Arjuna may be thinking like all of us, if actually Krishna is going to arrange everything, and he's doing everything, then what role do we have to? And this is the last line that's very important. Nimitta matra, become my instrument. Bhavya savya sachi. Savya sachi is another name for Krishna, no, for Arjuna. It means one who's very expert in shooting arrows. So Krishna was telling Arjuna, you may be very expert in shooting your arrows, but I'm killing. I'm deciding who will live. I'm deciding who will die. It's not you. It's a very humbling verse. This is very important. And it's important that we start our day. Today is a birthday. It's very important for us all, not just for Sanjay Prabhu, but for all of us to remember that whatever achievements we have in this world, it is only there because it is sanctioned by him. Without his sanctioning, it is not possible for us to achieve what we have. Yes, we have talent. Yes, we have capacity. Yes, we have capability. But the capability, the strength is all coming from him. When Hiranyakashipu was hitting the pillar and telling Prahlad Maharaj, where is this Krishna? Where is this Vishnu? How is it that you're so strong? How is it that you're so powerful? What is it Prahlad Maharaj tells him? He says, my dear father, the source of my strength is the source of your strength too. And it is the source of everybody's strength. So it is not that we should think that we are the source of our strength. It's Krishna. He is the source of our strength. So Arjuna was receiving a very humbling instruction on the battlefield. And we should accept that as a very guiding point for us. We should always think of our role in everyone's life as an instrument. We may be father, mother, brother, sister, dog, but we are all instruments. The moment we think we are not instruments and we are doers, then we are in difficulty. Because that's when attachment will come. The moment you think it is you who's responsible for an action or an outcome, then you become attached to it and you think you are the doer of it. Subtle pride will invariably creep in. And when that happens, we don't realize that in life, there's only so much you can plan for. Ultimately, everything is the plan of the Lord. That's why he said, Mayayavate nihata purva eva. In Mahabharata, so many times Krishna proved that, didn't he? You all know Ghatotkacha, isn't it, in Mahabharata? You must have heard of him. He was the son of Bhima and Hidimbi. And he was very powerful because he was like a sorcerer. So not only did he look like a demon, but he had sorcery. And in Mahabharata war, because he was the son of Bhima, naturally he fought for the Pandavas. But he caused havoc to the Kauravas. He caused so much havoc that the Kauravas finally told Karna to release his Shakti weapon. And Karna was saying, I will not release that until I meet Arjuna. He saved it for Arjuna. But as the day went on for that day, as night started coming in, before the battle ended, Ghatotkacha's powers increased. Because sorcerers, their powers increase in the night. And so at that point of time, the whole Kaurava army put so much pressure on Karna that Karna, who came to the battle, convinced that he will not use a weapon, ended up being so pressured that he felt compelled to release the weapon. Have we been in such situations where we have one plan? No, I am not going to do something. Or yes, I am going to do something. And then by the end of the day, it's just the opposite of what we wanted to do. Sometimes we want to explain to someone, it's very difficult. Oh, Prabhu, you don't understand. This happened, that happened. I didn't foresee it, and it happened. And before I knew it, I had to do it. Karna had the same problem. And so Karna released a very important weapon in his arsenal. And the weapon was unleashed, it hit Ghatotkacha and he died. That night in the camp, all the Pandavas were in mourning. Arjuna was looking around for Krishna and he saw Krishna at the corner of the camp. Krishna was smiling. So Arjuna went to Krishna and said, Krishna, Ghatotkacha, such a dear member of the family, has passed on. Do you really think it's nice of you to smile? I mean, you're coming for a funeral, at least, be solemn about it. He was wondering why Krishna is smiling. And Krishna told Arjuna a very important point. He said that I'm smiling today because my plan has been perfectly executed. By who? By Karna. Karna has followed my plan to the T. So Arjuna said, what do you mean? Karna is our enemy. He will never follow your plan, Krishna. That's why he's on the other side. Duryodhana, Karna, they will never follow you. But Krishna said, my plan reigns supreme. Ghatotkacha was born for only one purpose. My plan was that he should be born one day to take the weapon of Karna. That was his service in this scheme of things. He has discharged his service expertly and he will go back to Godhead for that. That was all he was born for. Nimitta Mata Bhavya Sabyasachi. He became an instrument in the hand of Krishna. And Krishna told Arjuna, now the battle of Kurukshetra and the result of it is almost certain. Karna can never stand before you. You see the point? Another example in Mahabharata is this Nishada prince. What was his name? The one who was fighting, who was competing with, who wanted Dronacharya as his acharya. Ekalavya, yes. You all know Ekalavya. Ekalavya was so powerful, he was such an expert archer, that when the Pandavas came across him, they were shocked. Because he was able to put in an entire quiver of arrows into the mouth of a dog before the dog could close the mouth. Can you imagine? Dogs open and close their mouth very quickly, but he could do it. And so when the princess Kauravas came to him and said, who's your master? Ekalavya said, it's Dronacharya. But wait a minute, Arjuna said, I never heard Dronacharya having a disciple like you. So he went back to see Dronacharya. And what he didn't realize was, years before, Ekalavya had come to see Dronacharya. And he said that, let me become your student. When Dronacharya saw Ekalavya, and he saw how he was shooting, Dronacharya felt that he could become competition to Arjuna. And the plan for Krishna and the plan of all the great devotees was to actually ensure that good will triumph over evil. Ekalavya's mood was not correct. And so Dronacharya said, I will not teach you. If you really consider me as Guru, my first instruction to you is, go back to the forest and rule your kingdom. That's all. Don't do anything else. Ekalavya left. He went to the forest. He built a statue of Dronacharya. And every day he practiced. So that was the result of his practice. Now Dronacharya came to the forest and Ekalavya fell at his feet. And Ekalavya told him that, see Gurudev, I have very, very conscientiously put you in the center of my life, built a statue of yours, and that is why I can shoot so well. And so Dronacharya said, that's very good. But now, like all gurus, I require dakshina. What dakshina will you give me? And Ekalavya said, anything you want, I will give you. And Dronacharya said, give me your right thumb. Because without thumb, no one can shoot an arrow well. Ekalavya, without hesitation, cut off his thumb. And he gave it to Dronacharya. And Dronacharya became very happy. People who read this episode of Mahabharata, they think that Ekalavya was a very exalted soul. But if you read Mahabharata deeply and you read the commentaries of the Acharyas, they will tell you that Ekalavya in Shastra represents the perfect example of a disciple who is not loyal to the instructions of the spiritual master. Not loyal. Why? Because the first instruction of Dronacharya was, don't take up archery. And that very first instruction he ignored. And he decided, if Guru doesn't want me, I want Guru, I'll do what I want. It's a subtle but important distinction. You see the point? Very often we think that, oh, he sacrificed his thumb. But he sacrificed his thumb because it was Krishna's plan that no one but Arjuna would reign supreme. Not Karna, not Ekalavya, not anyone else. Because essentially, they were not devotees of the Lord. So Krishna has a plan. He had a plan for this Mahabharat war, and he has a plan for everyone. Our only problem is, and you and I will agree on this, we don't know what Krishna's plan is very often. We know our plans, but we don't know what Krishna's plan is. So how do we know Krishna's plan? Is it possible to know Krishna's plan? The sages, the mystics, the yogis, every day, Shastras tell us, they are meditating on Krishna. They want to realize who Krishna is. But, muyanti kavayo pihi. Bhagavatam tells us, even though they are trying, nahi asya karhichit rajan, kuman veda vidit sitam, yat vijiknasaya, and muyanti kavayo pihi. Bhagavatam tells us, Bhishmadev tells us, so many people are trying to remember Krishna. So many people are trying to attain Krishna, the yogis, the mystics. But they cannot understand who he is. Until Krishna gives us permission and mercy to understand him and understand his plan, we cannot understand his plan. So it's not just us. The whole world is looking for that, but they cannot understand. That is why the Bhagavatam, the Bible, the Quran, these scriptures are known as revealed scriptures. You cannot just read them, study them, take notes, and think that you will have the answer to everything. I have seen professors reading the Gita and cannot understand it. I have seen young children reading the Gita with full faith, and Krishna gives them full knowledge to understand what is in the Gita. It's amazing, isn't it? It is not an ordinary book, and it is not an ordinary spiritual, it's not ordinary knowledge. It is revealed knowledge. So if you want to know what is Krishna's plan, then there are two ways to understand what is Krishna's plan. Follow what this verse is telling us. If we are ready to become an instrument in Krishna's hands, then Krishna reveals his plans to us. That is a very important thing. If our mood is that we are the servant of the Lord will reveal his plan to us. Sometimes we think, we go through a difficult time in life and we say, why is Krishna putting us through this? Why must this happen to so and so? These are natural questions. What is the plan of Krishna? If we want to understand the plan of Krishna, the first thing Shastras tell us to do is you first accept the plan of Krishna. In expectation, there is always disappointment. But in acceptance, there is always peace. The difficulty for us is, because we lack faith in the Lord, it is very hard to accept what he's giving us. Sudama went to see Krishna in Porbandar, in Dwarka, from Porbandar. And when he went to see him, he must have had some expectation of seeing Krishna. He saw him. Now remember, his wife had told him, please bring back some food. But he didn't want to ask Krishna for food. So what did he do? He just spent time with Krishna. He relished the company of Krishna. In other words, he didn't want anything from Krishna. Unmotivated in his devotional service. Unmotivated. And by the time he left, Krishna also never asked him. Sometimes you go and see someone very great. They will, at some point they will ask, so what is it you want? Can I help you? Krishna never did that. He never said, so Sudama, can I help you in anything? How's your financial situation? You need some money in the bank? He didn't say anything. He just talked about good times. Friend, go and sleep. Next morning Sudama left. But you know what Sudama said? Sudama accepted that as the plan of Krishna. He told to himself, who am I but a poor Brahmana? And who is Krishna but the Supreme Personality of Godhead? He knows exactly what is best for me. I don't have to ask him anything. Whatever that is due to me, that will be good for me, he will give it to me. That is the secret of understanding the plan of Krishna. If our prayer to Krishna is, Krishna, you please decide to do whatever you think is best for me and with me, because I'm an instrument. That day, the plan of Krishna will become clear to you. Just like the plan of Krishna became clear to Arjuna after this shloka. It became very clear to Arjuna. So accepting Krishna's plan is very important. And it requires faith. How is faith created? Faith is created by sadhu sangha. The more you have faith, the more it is created by the company you keep. Think about it. You will have faith in something when you are in a group that believes in it. Then your faith increases. When you're in a group that doesn't believe in something, your faith in that also starts to diminish. So actually faith is created by association. So the more we associate, Priyanka Mataji has been calling us for donkey years. So many years. But this association will create faith in us. Whatever doubts that we have, which is natural, will eventually be taken care of by our faith. By our faith. It is not a logical thing, because logic is the product of the mind. It is not the product of spirit. That we must accept. There are many things in this world, even in this world, which are illogical, but they mean something. Love is an illogical thing. If you try to tell someone why you are loving him, even though he's treating you so badly, it is irrational, illogical. Of course it is. That's why it's love. It cannot be answered by way of brain matter or by way of rationale. So spiritual world cannot be defined by material terms. And to understand Krishna's plan, it is from the spiritual world. It is not from the material world. Sometimes you don't even understand your wife's plan. How can you understand Krishna's plan? Isn't it? Sometimes husband plan and wife's plan, very mysterious. Both of them don't know what each other is thinking. Sometimes our children's plans are very mysterious. We don't know. And we really think we know Krishna's plans. So please, we must accept them. So Sanjay Prabhu, very important. We are all instruments of the Lord. And you know what's the beauty of being an instrument to Krishna? In the hands of a surgeon, a knife can heal. In the hands of a thief, a knife can kill. But in either case, nobody blames the knife, nobody praises the knife. Knife is knife. Knife is very peaceful. There is neither praise, there is neither blasphemy. That's why when we become instruments of Krishna, we don't have to take the praises into our heads because we become very proud. Neither do we have to be bothered by the criticisms of the world because we are following Krishna's plan. We become peaceful. We become peaceful. You see, actually Shastra is very logical. When it is explained properly from Bhagavad Gita, it is very logical. And I'll tell you one last story of Krishna's plan before we sing kirtan. In Bhagavatam, there is a very powerful demon known as Mayadanava. And Mayadanava once built 3 beautiful cities in the sky to hide the demons who were constantly being assaulted by the Devatas. You know, the Devatas and the demons were always fighting. Sometimes it was 1-0, sometimes 1-all, 2-1, 2-all, depending on how it was. But one time the demons were inflicted with such bad defeat that they ran to Mayadanava and they said, Mayadanava, help us, hide us. And he built 3 beautiful cities in the sky with his sorcery. One was the city of gold, the other the city of iron, and another one the city of steel. No, gold, silver and iron, sorry. And so all these 3 cities, they were cloaked. If you have seen Star Wars and everything, you would know that we always have this shield, isn't it? That suddenly spaceships come up with. Well, long before all that happened, Bhagavatam says, Mayadanava had his own cloaking shield. And so he shielded the 3 cities. These cities were known as Tripura. They were the 3 cities. And they were in the sky. But no one could see them. And from there, the demons launched their assault on the Devatas. So the Devatas ran here and there and shouted and screamed and prayed. And they went to Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva is so powerful. He said, don't worry, I'll take care of them. He shot an arrow. He shot several arrows. And they found their targets. The demons in the cities, right? They started falling. And all the demons became scared. They turned to Mayadanava. Lord Shiva is shooting and killing. Mayadanava said, don't worry. My magic powers is very powerful. And so he built a pool in one of the cities and he poured water into it. And then he used a very important herb known as Sanjivani. It is known as Amrita Sanjivani. And with his mystic powers added to Sanjivani, anyone who died was thrown into the pool. And when they came out, Bhagavatam said, they became even more powerful than they were before. When Lord Shiva saw everybody he was killing was coming out from a pool, he became a bit discouraged. Lord Krishna came and he saw that Lord Shiva was feeling a bit discouraged. To encourage him, Lord Krishna said, let me do something. So Krishna turned to Brahma and said, Brahma, I will take the form of a cow. You take the form of a calf. And exactly at noon, the cow and the calf entered into the city, untouched. Everyone in plain sight could see them. But because of the Lord's illusory energy, no one stopped them. No one stopped them. And they walked right to the pool, and the cow started to drink, and the calf started to drink. They finished they drained the pool of all water, and therefore they drained the pool of all Sanjivani. And they left. As they were walking out, the demons came to their senses. How in the world can a cow and a calf drink so much water and finish off the pool? And then Mayadanava heard about it and said, this is no ordinary cow, this is no ordinary calf, this is none other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Krishna, it must be Krishna. And therefore at that point when he said that, all the demons took weapons and they started running after the cow and the calf who vanished. And at that point of time, Mayadanava tells them, please stop. Don't do anything. Don't do anything. Mayadanava, the demon. And this is what he says in Bhagavatam. Deva, Asuro, Naro, Anyova. Deva means Devata. Asura means Asura. And Nara means human beings. Anyova. Neshvaro Astita Kaschana. Atmano Anyascha Vadishtam. Daivena Pohitam Divyaha. Daivena means something which is beyond us. Daivena means fate, providence. And what does he say there? He tells the demons, whatever has been destined by the Supreme Lord for oneself, for others, or for both oneself and others, cannot be undone by anyone or anything. Nothing. Whether he be a devata, a demon, a human being, or anyone else. And our acharyas say a very nice point, and I want to end with this. However I plan, you plan, or both of us plan, the Lord has planned what is to happen. We may do certain things in life. Yes, we have earned, we are driving, we are walking, you plan to come today for the program, but your plans must get the sanction of the Supreme Plan. If that planner's sanction is not there, it's very difficult for us to move anywhere. That is the most important thing. So when Lord Shiva saw that nobody was going to get up now to end the story, Lord Krishna told him, he told Lord Shiva, it is stated in Shastras that the only way to destroy all three cities is when they are aligned. And in about 2 minutes, they will all become aligned. Just shoot one arrow, Lord Shiva, and finish off the cities. Because that is my plan. And Lord Shiva dispatched a powerful arrow, and it flew across the sky, through the universe, hit one city, went through the next, and came out through the last. And the entire 3 cities that Mayadanava planned so well came to nothing. It came to nothing. And that is why Lord Shiva today is known as Tripurari. He is known as Tripurari because of this beautiful pastime of shooting the arrow through all the 3 cities. So accept the plan of the Lord, even if it is difficult to accept, even if it is challenging to accept. See His hand in everything. There must be a reason why Krishna puts us through difficult times and good times. Nobody's good times will last forever, and nobody's bad times will last forever. The good news in this world is that just as much as there is sadness, there will always also be happiness. When people come and tell us, Prabhu, my whole life has been tragic, I've just been having one bad luck after the other. The good news we tell them is, by the law of material nature, don't worry. At some point you'll become happy. But by the law of material nature, if you've been happy for a long time, don't worry. You'll also feel the other side of the coin. So we don't get attached to the happiness or the sadness which is considered material, Prabhu. our happiness is in becoming spiritual. That happiness no one takes away. It is the devotee's monopoly, because it is the Lord's blessings. I see so much potential in you, Sanjay Prabhu, and you have so much taste for devotional service. It cannot be that our meeting today and the verse today is an accident. That is also Krishna's plan. Any questions? No questions means consent. Right.
Krishna's plan.
Acceptance, very nice. That's how we accept such stuff. Shall we chant Krishna's names? Be a good time for us to chant. And when we chant, what must we do? We must really chant loudly, right? Because like I said, we really don't know, what is Krishna's plan for us. But now we are given the chance to chant. So that is his great fortune. That is our great fortune. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan Yajna ki, Hare Krishna Mahamantra Yudharma ki, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, praying at the lotus feet of the Lord to give Sanjay Prabhu a long and very healthy and Krishna conscious life. Thank you, Priyanka Mataji, for making this happen, as always. And thank you to all of you for coming together. It's so wonderful to see everyone. Take back what the plan of the Lord is, and you become very peaceful in your life. And if you're disturbed, don't worry. That could also be the plan. Thank you. Mataji, over to you.
Yes, we will do the aarti,
You too.
and nobody is leaving without prasad.